Jón Hammer, I'm the producer, and this is Sigrun Gunnarsdóttir, who was the protagonist, as you've seen. Beinta Torkilsheyggi is the director. Mørkøre is the other director who couldn't come to New York, but Beinta is here. And Rógvi Rasmussen was the cinematographer and also the producer alongside myself.
So I'd rather hear from the audience, but I'll just start off with a few questions first. Why don't we start from the very beginning? How did this project start? Who initiated it, and what were the reasons behind making this wonderful documentary?
Yeah, I could start with that. I could just say, start with that I'm quite close to Sigrun. She's my mother-in-law, so start there. But at the beginning, it was just like a small idea. We were talking about making. She was quite often in Japan doing regarding. She was visiting the university where she had a few workshops there. So we're just talking about doing a few visuals for the students in Japan. But then suddenly she was assigned a big job at Listaskaden, and back in 2018. And then this small idea became something a lot bigger, and Rógvi came on board, Marianne came on board, and Jón as well. So yeah, that's how it started.
And I know that there was some delays in the production. I don't know if you want to talk about those or
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
I think it's a very nice story.
Yeah. So we started in 18. We started filming, and we've had a few children. We've had 6 children during this period. I have 2, Beinta has 2, and the other director, Marianne, has also had 2 children. So there has been some delays with maternity leave, and also, of course, COVID started in 2020. So that also was a huge delay. So the time span was 5 years in total.
Yeah, Sigrun, she's been joking that she and Torter maybe also could get pregnant during this movie. Everyone got pregnant.
Yeah, baby boom.
Yeah.
And Sigrun, how is it to be the subject of a film? Was it awkward, or were you happy with the cameras there, or were you say, okay, today I'm fine if you film me, tomorrow I don't want you to film me, that type of thing? Can you sort of talk about how open you were to allowing everyone into your lives?
I don't know how I can say it, but in the beginning I think it was a little bit hard, because I thought about it, but so when it was going on, I didn't think about it. So I had to relax, and I think it was wonderful to work together with young people. It gets something special for me. I said so.
And one thing that really impressed me with this film is the composition of almost every single frame of that film. If it was the drone shots that shows off the amazing sceneries of the Faroe Islands, or just even the composition of Sigrun just walking across the street. How were those all planned, or were we just lucky with what we got? I don't know how you composed the scenes.
I don't know if I should, so we were inspired by Sigrun's work to begin with, and we wanted to implement like her visual style into the visual style of the film. So, but that was also developed like during the process. In the beginning, when we started filming, it was a bit more handheld, and we did some slow motions, but we ended up with this thing called the ching, which means center for us. So everything had to have a center frame, and all vertical lines had to be straight. So we developed a very strict visual form, and also her, I don't know if you say, her quote, to start with the small one, the greatness in the smallness. You could say we also tried to implement that, so we have these huge pictures, but there's always some little small things, a flower, or Sigrun herself, or so we try to work with this huge scale and very small. And also the color palettes, we were very aware of the color palette, and maybe Beinta can talk a bit more about the color
Yeah,
palettes.
it's because Sigrun, in her art world, there's one color, or a few colors, and in her home there are totally different colors. So we definitely were very inspired by those contrasts. But we didn't change anything. The people have asked us if we done certain things with props and stuff, but no, it's just she's just very fascinating in a way. Yeah.
It's all very can we talk about the animations? I really love the animations as well, and Sigrun, I'd like to hear from you first, taking your two-dimensional artwork and making it more 3D. I don't know how you felt about that.
Yeah, I had some thought about it because I was a little bit afraid to give them allowed to do this, but I think I was feeling very confident with the film people, and so I can't. I will give everything over to them, and so I said, yes, it's okay, you can do it. So they, then started.
And can you talk who did the animations?
Yeah, her name is Katie Beveridge. She's from Edinburgh, and she's one of the best. We're very happy with the result of that. And what we did, we got her home. She lived with Sigrun for a week. Yeah, they played bingo on Friday and everything that we do there. And she was very impressed that she could work with her archive, and she was very impressed with the strong, this strong art world that she has done. So it was just fun for her. She really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Let's see if we have some questions from the audience. Do we have anything? I'm sure you'll come up with some. As we sort of learned with the art panel earlier this afternoon, there was a strong sense of Faroese community within the art world. Is there still a strong sense of community within the filmmaking world? I know it's a very young industry there, but can you talk about some of the growing pains with this young industry, but also what has been working well because it is such a small community, and what isn't working well? Or what you would like to see change, etc.?
I mean, there's definitely a strong community, I feel. Everyone who works with film, we all collaborate pretty much across each other's projects. It doesn't feel like a competition. The funds are very limited locally, so of course there is some competition to get the funding for your film, but it doesn't seem to be negative in any way, I feel. But we wish, of course, there was more funding for local films in Faroese, on the Faroe Islands. This film was actually majority supported from a special fund through the Danish kingdom to make films about Faroe Islands, Greenland and Denmark. So this film would not have been possible without that funding. So we're hoping that to develop the cultural funding on the Faroe Islands, so we can actually do more locally and more films, so we at least do a couple of films every year. That's what we hope to improve. And I think it helps to be able to show it to an international audience, local, basically small local stories in a small local language, but that hopefully connect with an international audience.
Is there a big cinema presence in the Faroe Islands? Are European and American, well, I'm sure Hollywood films are over there, but is there?
There's one theater that has 2 screens in Tórshavn, and that's the whole country. They show the blockbusters, yes, but European art house is very limited. Only there's a special kind of interest group that puts on one screening for that film that one can, or So yeah, it's limited.
Now, do we have any questions from the audience? I see.
I actually don't have a question, it's more of an astonishment for something that seemed relatively simple, not negative, but without the perspective and all the other artistic pieces that went. It was fascinating, and you brought an incredible life to these images. And then how it evolved, you actually told a story. So there was a piece here, and then we came back to it, and then you kind of ended with it, and you kind of felt a whole absolutely picture that I thought was just astonishing. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Several times you showed, it looked like a big horizontal wave or something. I think that is from the landscape nearby, or what was it, and what were you thinking when you put it in the movie? You know what I'm talking about?
Top shot of a beach, looking down on a beach in Aia where she swims in the ocean every morning. Is that the one?
I guess it was just, it filled up the screen and it looked like a wave, and kind of hazy. So what was your thought in putting that in the movie?
That's one of her daily routines where she goes dipping, so very close to where she lives at the beach. So from top down with the drone.
Also, when you see it from that angle, it gives you a totally new experience of the ocean. When you see the texture of the sand and the waves, it like opens up another perspective, which we thought were very interesting.
When you were painting on the glass, was that done for the film, or is that a method? Because I thought at first, like, oh, you're painting out the window, but then you bubble wrapped, which was a wonderful thing because it is distractingly beautiful. But I was just wondering if you could talk about that scene, and it was lovely to see your face behind the paint and all that.
I think it was also for the film,
Yeah.
but I have been also working with plexiglass. So a little bit used to it.
So we built a black box with the camera in the back of the glass because we also wanted to see how the painting sees her. If we could get a connection, see her expression while she's painting. Because when we normally film her, we only see her back or her hand or her side. But we wanted to have a facial expression of her, getting that connection with her in the painting. So we tried to do that. It was solely for the film.
That piece.
That piece, when she painted the glass.
Was she in Japan and did Japanese art influence her work? What did she take from Japan?
She was wondering if Japanese art influenced your work.
Yes, I think so. The Japanese life and also art inspired me because I've been there 5 times and 3 times with exhibitions. So yeah, I like Japan.
Maybe one more question, if we have one. Oh, in the front row.
Elizabeth said something about when you say you have a dialogue with the painting. Could you say a little bit more about that, of how the painting speaks back to you?
I can try if I can do it in English, I don't know, but I feel when I'm painting that it's important to get into the painting and to have a dialogue with the painting. So when I have this dialogue, I feel maybe maybe it's almost finished, or I have to be careful so I don't spoil the picture. painting.
Is that okay?
Well, thank you very much. I hope Scandinavia House can continue to be a venue for new Faroese films coming out. So we'll be able to screen more next year around hopefully at the same time. I know there is one film I'm really looking forward to that should be ready very soon. Before we end, why don't we talk about what's next on everyone's projects? So it's always an interesting question.
I'm currently working on 2 documentaries. One is called Fire, Water, Earth and Air. And it's about the climate change and the climate crisis, how small communities are how they are adapting to this new climate crisis. And Norway has earth, and Sweden has fire, and Denmark has water, and Faroe Islands has air. So I'm focusing on wind, storms, and also CO2. And the other one has forest fires and floods and stuff. So that will be really interesting. Then I have another project about tunnels. We're digging a lot of tunnels in Faroe Islands, so it's about how tunnels are connecting small villages, societies, people, and also what's disconnecting locally. So that's 2 interesting projects.
Yeah, me and Marianna, the same director that I was working on with this film, Marianna Mørkøre, we're working on, we're going in a completely different project this time. We're working on Faroese football, a new documentary about, we don't know anything about Faroese football at all, so we're trying to become football experts right now. So,
Sigrun?
Yeah, I can say that I will have an exhibition in the bridge in Copenhagen now in June, and the big bird will also come to Denmark.
Yeah, and I just finished a film that I produced called The Last Paradise on Earth by Sagar Stora. His first feature, Dreams by the Sea, you can actually screen on the online portal he can tell you about. And I have another one that a film by Anton Pedersen, a Faroese director as well, which will also be finished within a few months. And then I have 2 documentaries that I'm not sure when they will be finished, but they're very interesting, and I hope to be able to show them here as well at some point.
Perfect. So I think that concludes. Would you like to?
Sure, yeah. On behalf of all of us at Scandinavia House, I want to thank you. That was a terrific film. And we want to see more of your work in person, so I hope we can make that happen. And I want to thank again the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, all of our Faroese friends who have made this day possible, and the ongoing programs that we'll be seeing, as well as the exhibition. The exhibition is open now. Please come and see it if you haven't. See it again if you want to. And we have a reception going on 2, so please join us for that. Thank you all, and thank you all. Congratulations.